here we're going to look at a couple examples of finding the composition of functions. Now, composition simply means one function in terms of the other. It means you're going to substitute the variable from one function with the expression of the other and then resolve down to get a new combined compositional function. We have two ways that you can see this. F of g, the little circle here, means of, not multiplication. So you have f of g. What this means is I'm going to take my g function and put it into f and then simplify. Or you can reverse it. G of f means you're going to put f into g and simplify. So to demonstrate that, I've got this example here where I have my two functions, f and g, and I want to find the composition f of g. So here, f of g essentially means I'm going to take f, and what I like to do to try and help is anywhere I have a variable, I'm going to replace it with a box. That box is a placeholder. And then what I kind of do is I take notes for myself which says what I need, and here I have to put my g into this placeholder. So what this actually becomes is 2 times x plus 7 squared minus 3 times x plus 7. Okay? And so with that, we're going to go ahead and do the math. So you don't just leave it like this, you actually do the math. And so that means that this, you're going to FOIL the first one, and here you're going to distribute into the back. So if we do that, you're going to FOIL it. So this is going to become x squared plus 14x plus 49, and then minus 3x plus or minus 21. You're going to distribute the 2 through, so in this case you're going to have 2x squared plus 28x plus 98 minus a 3x minus the 21, which is going to give you the end result of 2x squared plus 25x plus 77. Now the last thing you have to look at is, are you being asked to evaluate? So this right here, just like with a combination of functions, this is what you would evaluate by. So in this case, you're being asked to evaluate by a variable, which means an expression you are going to keep. Once you determine what your end result is going to be, you need to double check and make sure, does the variable that you're evaluating by match the variable in your expression? In this case, it does. Therefore, you have finished, and this would be your end result. Now let's look at one more, just to try and make sure that it's solidified. In this one, we're going to do g of f. So g of f says I'm going to take my g, and anywhere I have a variable here, I'm going to replace with a placeholder. So this is blank squared minus 2 times blank minus 6. And what's going to go inside here is going to be my expression for f. So this is going to be 3x plus 1 squared minus 2 times the 3x plus 1 minus 6. So again, we're going to distribute the first. So here this is going to be 9x squared plus a 6x plus 1. And then we're going to have minus 6x minus 2 minus 6. So that's going to leave us with 9x squared. My 6x's are going to go away, and I have 1 minus 2 minus 6. So here, negative 2 minus 6 is a negative 8. I have plus 1, so this is going to end up being negative 7. Now the last thing you have to look at again is what you're supposed to evaluate by. So here this is what you're going to evaluate by. Since this is a, since this -2 here is a number, that means when we evaluate by it, we should end up getting a number as a result. So here we would go ahead and input that -2 squared and minus 7. So -2 squared is 4. 4 times 9 is 36. Minus 7 is going to give you 29 as a result. So if you evaluate by a number, you will get a number answer. If you evaluate by an expression, you get an expression answer. Now, the one other quick thing that I wanted to point out is that this is only one way that you could solve this problem. The other way you could solve this problem is by using the idea that g of f is the same as saying g of f of x, which in this case, because we're going to evaluate by -2, would be the same as saying g of f of -2. Now, to do it this way, what this says is that the first thing you have to do is you have to evaluate f of -2. So in this case, my f was 3x minus 1. So when we substitute -2, we get 3 times -2 minus 1. So this is going to be -6 minus 1, which gives you a -7. Sorry, this is plus 1. Which would make this a -5. Now with that, the second thing that you would do is that now you would evaluate. And because we just figured out f of 2, now we have g of f of -2. Since this part we just solved, this is the same thing as saying now we're going to have g of -5. So we would take our g function and we would say -5 squared minus 2 times a -5 minus 6. This is going to give you 25 plus 10 minus 6. And so here you're going to end up with 29 as a result. So there's two different methods for being able to evaluate and solve a composition if you are given a number to evaluate by. Now that is the most important key part. You have to have been given a number to evaluate, and then you can use either method that you choose. So if you have any questions about compositions, please let me know. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this short video, and I'll see you next time.